Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of Letters from Elsewhere with Mr. and Mrs. Finn. Today we recorded in the middle of the day. We actually recorded this on Saturday. We ran into a couple things on Friday. So we recorded on Saturday and we got cut off a couple times by our napping children that woke up and heard us talking and came out to say hello. So I tried to cut it so that it made sense, but you still get to hear Lyra say goodbye at the end. But anyway, hope that you enjoy the episode and hope that you have a great week. Bye. Huntrix girls. You want to do our clap today? Do our clap.
And take you down.
That was a good one. Okay, cool. Hey, babe.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How
Good.
are you? Hi, listeners.
Hello, listeners. Glad that you're here for episode 6. It's going to be a great podcast.
Episode 6, huh?
Episode 6, we are talking about mental health this time.
Mental health abroad.
It is a good topic to discuss.
It is.
We've had kind of our ups and downs with it, but we're taking steps to make it better. We're taking steps to feel better about, what we're doing and things that we should have been doing while we were at home too.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
I think
been
we're in the
uphill swing.
we're starting to climb up the abroad, moving international grief cycle.
Yeah. Because it is very cyclical. Like there are times when it feels really good. There are times when it feels really bad. But the whole journey, like you're talking about the valley and the
like the honeymoon phase,
the ebb and
and
flow
then you're
of all
in
of that.
like the anger and
That's great.
yeah.
So anyway, that's what we're digging into this week.
Woo,
And
let's do
that'll
it.
be great. What absolutely unnecessary thing wrecked your mental health this week?
Ooh.
Unnecessary thing.
So like something really minuscule.
Just stupid. That just set you off.
That set me off.
Yeah. For me, what makes me crash out is being around people.
LOL, because you're a teacher.
No, not that way. I mean, being around large groups of people drives me bonkers. I was thinking about this.
So the stroller today at the book fair.
That's exactly what made me crash out today. But I was thinking about this at show choir compositions, at musicals and things like that. I was normally in control of so many people. Not that that was in control, but they were under my direction.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I wasn't the one controlling them per se, but to an extent I was.
There's a difference when it's strangers.
Yeah. And then, so that's I think where that anxiety comes from, is because I am so used to having to control that many people, specifically kiddos. And then when I don't have any power in those moments, it feels very like,
I think that's why you've always hated crowds.
Probably.
Yeah.
I just get anxious anyway, though.
What's that noise? Outside?
Sounds like a plane. Yeah, I think
Ooh, something for me.
it's very loud.
Something little that made me crash out.
Yeah.
It's it has to do with our kids, but it's not our kids. It's the task of which we're doing.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
Is it brushing teeth?
No,
Oh, that one's a rough one, though.
that one's been rough lately.
Taking a shower?
Putting their gloves on.
Oh, my God.
And it's not even, it's the reason. It was one of our mornings where I think we were running really late.
Yeah. And it's been chilly.
And it's been chilly.
Yeah.
And so we've had to bundle up. And
It's a fair crash out, though.
it's a fair,
I will say that.
but it's not even the kids' fault because they're standing there so good. So it was Lyra.
She just doesn't know how to put gloves on yet.
No,
which is
and
fine.
so we had to do it, but
She's
she
two.
was so good though. She just stood there, and I mean, it was my issue. It wasn't Lyra. It wasn't like she was moving.
I was laughing at her one time because I was like, okay, but hold your hand like this. And then when you put your hand in, you're going to go like that. And then she would just go, put her hand just full ass pissed.
Because again, she's 2. No, but my crash out was she put them in, and then like, you know, like 3 of them are stuck in one. And so
finger,
then you're trying to like wiggle them around, and then it's like you get one and then it goes back. And so then I was like, oh my God.
Just getting fingers
And
in
she was just like, she was standing there just so cute, just like this. And she goes, oh, Mom, what's wrong?
What's wrong, Mom?
And I was like, nothing, sweetheart. It's a mom.
Why
It's
are you
mom's
crashing
issue.
out? That's awesome. She is so sweet about little things like that. Sometimes she has a crash out about it more than we do.
And she has learned, for those of you who know Lyra, know that she is a diva, taken after her mother. And some of you, she's my karma though.
Yeah.
She's sassy and cute. But she, in true Lyra fashion, when she crashes out, she'll go,
Hands down to the side, eyes roll up in the head.
Yeah. And
She's
it's
awesome.
usually they're fair crash outs. Usually we're
Like,
yeah,
okay. Yeah,
okay.
that makes sense. That's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Okay. So questions for this week are all kind of based around mental health. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it goes and it starts with some lighter stuff, and then we get a little bit deeper as we're going along.
Sure.
Also along that, I have questions from listeners, people that had submitted questions about mental health that they want to talk about. So I do want to make sure that we get to that today.
Depending on time too, maybe we'll need to make this a part 2.
This could be it. We could take this into
Because I would love, this is a really important topic, I think, just for us to talk about, but also for listeners and mental health in general. So I don't think we have to rush this.
If it needs time. And this could also be something that we talk about on a regular basis too. Like we're still trying to figure out.
We can do check-ins.
Yeah. Still trying to figure out what our style is. Look at how bad these freaking curtains look.
It's fine.
Ugh. Come on, man. Anyway. So our intro question. The intro question, and this is kind of the overarching theme of the whole show, but why do you think mental health has become such a big conversation for families lately? Families specifically. I think you could also take that into why has it become so important in schools? But then the second question is, if you had to describe your current mental health in 3 words, what would it be? So we're talking about general mental health in families, in schools, and then we're also talking about our own mental health. And I think within that, we could talk about our journeys as expats as well.
Yeah.
Because we have both gone through lots of different ups and downs with all of it. But anyway, I think those
So what was the first question?
So the first one is, why do you think that mental health has become such a big conversation with families today?
Sure.
Yeah. And I don't know that we necessarily need to answer that right now, because I think all of the questions that we're going to talk about are going to be related to that.
Okay.
So maybe I'll come back to that towards the end.
Well,
Unless you want to attack it. Are you excited to talk
I just
about it?
have like right away I can be like,
Go.
I think it has become such a point of conversation in families is because the stigma of mental health is getting better. And so it is more talked about. It is more encouraged to take better care of your mental health. There are more people speaking out about it and the importance of it. And I think just this day and age, we are in a mental health crisis, especially coming out of Iowa and coming out of America. If those of you that don't know, the state of Iowa in the United States is very low on the totem pole for mental health resources and help. And so,
to give an example about that, can I jump in?
Yeah.
So while we were there, and one of the wonderful things that helped out a lot of the state of Iowa was the Heartland AEA.
Yeah.
And the AEA in general, which is the Area Education Agency.
Ours was Heartland. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what AEA stands for? Area Education Agency.
Yeah.
And so what would you say that their tasks were? What were their resources? Because you had to deal with them. You got to work with them much closer than I did.
Yeah. I work with being a school counselor. I worked hand in hand with them, especially with special education students. But I mean, they would come in for anything, whether it was looking for students and wanting to make goals, whether it's behavioral or educational. We utilized their free resources to test out Rory's speech at one point.
Yeah.
they're a really important pillar in schools.
They were offering an incredible amount of services. They were offering resources for teachers, resources for parents.
They're the ones that bring in the social
students.
workers and the psychologists, and and so if you
like an incredibly large cornerstone in the mental health system within education in the state of Iowa.
and they're all wonderful people. Like so many of them were our friends.
And I wish and you might know better than me, but what exactly happened to the education agency?
Well, I mean, it comes down to they took away funding.
They took away a lot of funding.
And so then cutbacks were happening and people weren't guaranteed their jobs anymore.
So that affected SEL in schools. That affected these resources that we were talking about in schools. That affected all of these wonderful people that were doing wonderful things in education systems.
Yeah. I wish I had Christy Tinder on here right now.
Yeah, Christy was awesome. I'm trying to think who else that we knew that
Elizabeth
worked there.
Windjam.
Elizabeth Windjam was amazing. And these wonderful people that are doing wonderful things for students. So that is an example. That's an example of how the mental health situation in the state of Iowa was depleting.
And that's not even scratching the surface.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
It really isn't. I mean, you think about, I don't know. I don't really want to get into
we could
things
get on
that I
we
don't
could
know
get
enough about.
Yeah, we could get
all
up on a soapbox.
Yeah, and there are things that, oh crap, I just kicked my camera. There are things that I could speculate about that I just don't know enough about. But
we could do our research more and then come back later.
Yeah,
and speak
but I
on
know
it.
that there were things that were not working well and were affecting a lot of people. I would say we got to see it firsthand. Students that were struggling and were not given the resources that they needed.
Yeah, well, and like some of it was, well, you don't have money and then you don't have the people and you don't have, and so kids were just falling through the cracks, and especially in public education.
So I think that is also related to the stigma behind getting a counselor, the stigma behind pursuing therapy is something that I think was incredibly strong in the state of Iowa. There were people that were very, very against it. Thankfully,
That's
I think
everywhere.
that is,
sadly, it's
I
getting
think
better.
that is turning. I would say it's definitely more related to a conservative population of people. Would you say that that's the case?
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly that is.
And generational.
And it's a generational thing.
It's getting better. I think it starts with us millennials. And then it's getting better as the kids are younger about wanting to talk about mental health, and it's getting help. And
And that was something that you and I both had not done prior to moving here, but then we pursuing therapy.
Wanted to.
But then we both started since we've been here.
Yeah.
And that has been absolutely wonderful. I have connected really quickly with my therapist, and we've gotten to dig deeper into, some things that I've wanted to talk about for a long time. And then also talking about more recent feelings of what it's been like being here, like my trigger, or when I am, like set off on something. Most of the time, my immediate reaction has been anger recently, which sucks. And I hate that so much.
You're working on it though.
I am working on it. And so, so that's been a lot of the conversations that I have had with my therapist. And that's been really good. And she's helped put it into perspective. She said on multiple occasions, she's been super sweet about it, saying like, hey, you have been in a different country. You have moved out of everything that you have ever known for 30 years of your life, 31 years of your life. And now you're embarking on this new thing. You have to give yourself grace. And I think everyone in some way, shape, or form can give themselves grace at some point in their life because they are doing something different. They're doing something new. They're doing something.
Yeah, I think everybody needs therapy.
Yeah.
I always say everybody that you meet has some sort of trauma. It's just whether it's a little T or a big T. And your little T's don't mean that they don't matter and they haven't impacted you. And so I think everybody needs therapy, and therapy would be good for them at some point in their life.
And just to have somebody that is totally
unbiased
talking to you, asking you questions, letting you parse through the thoughts that you have in your own head is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And so important. I think everybody needs to go through it.
Yeah.
It's been really
good.
great for the both of us. We've been doing it for 3-4 weeks now.
This will be my third. You started before me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay. So we'll keep digging into that. The second question was, if you could describe your current mental health in 3 words, what would it be?
My current mental health.
3 words. I don't love questions like that.
Yeah.
But what's the?
I'll just say
I'm a savage.
bougie.
Whatever those 3 words. That's the first 3 words that popped in my head. They aren't even words though.
I can't think of
think
3
of
words, to be honest.
So we'll keep
I'll just say that I'm working on it.
Working on it.
Yeah, it's ups and downs. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I've had more better days lately than I had a month ago, which is in typical expat fashion.
Yeah. Because we're adjusting.
Yeah.
And it takes time.
And everyone says the expat life takes about a full year to adjust to.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of time and a lot of ups and downs in between then, but we'll get there.
Into the thick of it. We're in it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
What is one? Okay, so we're digging into some lighter stuff. We're going to start with some lighter stuff.
Perfect.
Okay. What is your pettiest mental health trigger? And I'll say it this way.
Pettiest?
I'm going to take the words mental health out of there.
Yeah.
What is your pettiest trigger? What's the thing that you just like whenever it happens to you?
It has to be petty.
I think petty or just you can say funny. It's something that's funny that sets you off like crazy. Like past the point of gloves. You know, I would say even pettier than like Lyra putting on gloves. So for me, and this is related to my older brother, not as bad as what his issue is.
Oh, sure.
But mine is when somebody when somebody is chewing with their mouth open. Even mouth sounds don't necessarily do it for me as bad, but it's the mouth is open, the chomping, just like immedially drives me.
Is that like misophonia? What is that?
Misophonia.
Misophonia.
Yeah, misophonia. Yeah. Do you have one related to that?
Not really.
Noises or something that somebody says or something that somebody does.
Mansplaining.
That's fair. That's a fair.
Especially when it's my job.
Yeah.
Or when I've done or like something that doesn't need to be mansplained and someone thinks that it does. And you're like, okay, so for those of you that don't know me well, my tell when I'm like, okay, so when I'm in a conversation and I'm questioning what a person is saying, or I'm in my head, I'm saying, I think you want to think about that a little bit more.
Pause.
Or try again.
Pause.
Or like, that's interesting. And it's my head tilt. I'll be like,
Or sometimes there's a that goes along with that.
Like if I just like, if it's a conversation, I would never do that in like a nice conversation. It's more of like an annoying conversation or somebody does something where I'm like, let's try that again.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'd rather you didn't. Mansplaining happened. Mansplaining is a fair crash out though.
Yeah.
Not necessarily petty.
Yeah.
But
I don't really know anything like what's petty. Like, what do you think I have? What's mine? I'm a really patient person.
You are patient.
I have crash outs, but I don't know that I have like a consistent petty one.
I don't know.
Like with noises or anything.
I'll have to think about it.
Yeah.
People chewing with their mouth open is.
Yeah, I mean, that's gross.
Makes me lose my damn mind. If adults had, this is fun. If adults had a required mental health recess, what would that look like?
Screaming.
I think it's like those, what's the rage rooms?
Yeah, rage rooms.
It would be a rage room. Rage room would be fun.
No, it'd have to be like a pavilion and there'd have to be like cornered off sections. So there'd be like a rage room. There would be karaoke. There'd be calming corner with coloring and Play-Doh. There'd be a nap room, reading room.
Yeah.
It's like everybody.
Could you imagine? I want a recess. Oh,
We should
implement that.
we should implement that at AISE.
Yeah.
Darren?
Darren, it's coming to you. We're going to do recess for the adults.
Adult recess. / mental health rage room.
Be, how much fun would that be?
Amazing.
What is this should not have stressed me out this week, but it did moment? Should not have stressed me out, but it did. Oh, back to the stroller. So we walked on Thursday. It was not today's stroller incident.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We've described our stroller, right?
Yeah, we talked about it last
So
time.
it's the Mockingbird. It's the Mockingbird stroller, and normally it's got the one seat for the kid. Now it's got two, so they're right in front of each other.
She's intense.
She's in front.
She's big.
She goes nuts. She has to be strapped in.
Oh, you're talking about. I'm still talking about the stroller. I'm like, she's big, and you're like, and she has to be strapped in.
That was a big girl.
No, the stroller is intense.
The stroller is intense.
But yes, Lyra does have to be.
Sits in the front, and she has to be strapped in because she's crazy. But because of the setup of it, it is very front heavy, and so when we're walking and we go to a curb,
oh yeah,
you have to and lift it up so that it can.
Sorry, what was that?
One more time?
Yeah, one more time.
So that I can go up the curb. But every once in a while, I will assume that the curb is not too big.
Or it's like flatter than what it is.
It's flatter than what it is. And so I'll check that curb and just go, and that sucks so bad and makes me lose my mind so fast. What was the question though? Should not have stressed me out. It didn't stress me out. It's basically just what have been our crash outs this week.
Oh, do you know what one of mine is though?
That stressed you out?
It's like a crash out.
Yeah.
It's having to bundle up, and then by the time I get to school, regardless if we're walking or on my bike,
sweating your balls off,
sweating.
Yeah, that sucks.
That makes me so angry. Where it's cold outside, so you have to bundle, but then I'm sweaty by the time I get to work.
I can't. I'm so hot.
Oh, the worst.
I like it. Ugh. I like being sweaty.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah. I also sleep really hot too, though.
Yeah.
Hot box.
Just like your children take after you.
Yeah. Okay, I think those were all of our silly questions.
Okay, let's go a little bit deeper.
A little deeper here.
We got some time.
Do you feel more overwhelmed or more burnt out recently? Duh. And what is the difference to you between being overwhelmed and burnt out?
Do I have to pick one that I feel?
Have you felt more of one or the other?
Burnt out, no.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed, yes.
And what would you say the difference is between the two? Because I think that there are a lot of people, especially that are listening to this show, that we have talked to closely, that have talked a lot about burning out.
Yeah, burning out is losing your joy, losing your spark.
Yeah.
It's not enjoying what you're doing anymore. It's hard to find the good moments. There's more bad moments. Have you felt
burnt out as a counselor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you feel overwhelmed and not burnt out?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Well, and I think, I guess I wouldn't say it. I felt burnt out as a social worker.
Sure.
I would say there were moments of burnout in school counseling, but not overall, if that makes sense. So, there were some really tough weeks where I was like burnt out by the end of those, but it wasn't from like the profession or overall.
Yeah.
Social
Thinking of it as like a candle.
Yeah.
Like you just had to replenish the candle because the wick was all the way down.
Because it like passed overwhelmed because of what was happening. And I was burnt out, and there was a lot, like the time that I'm thinking of, there were a lot of different aspects to that.
I know what you're talking about.
But I was very burnt out from social work, and I left the profession after that because I lost complete joy.
God.
Yeah, I
like
lost again.
You were great at it. But
I was a social worker working in mental health and substance abuse in Iowa, and it was really hard. I love the people it's really hard to do a job like that, especially in a state that felt like it didn't care about people's mental health.
Yeah.
So I was very burnt out, and I really spiraled, and it was really hard for me to get out of bed. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I cried all the time. I just couldn't do it. And I lost my joy. And that wasn't why I entered social work. So I knew there needed to be change.
That was burnout.
That was burnout.
Yeah.
Overwhelm is, there's a lot going on. Maybe you've had some stressful situations. Maybe things aren't going how you'd like them to. Maybe you're dealing with some difficult coworkers or parents or people, and maybe you're not getting the support that you'd love, but it doesn't ever like cross the threshold. It always gets better, right? When you think of being burnt out, it's like a snowball that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you like can't do it anymore.
But it's an important understanding, and I think letting people take the moment to check in with themselves and ask themselves, am I overwhelmed?
Yeah.
Probably, especially if they're...
Can this be fixed?
Especially if it's a music teacher that's listening.
You guys are busy.
You are overwhelmed. You are overworked. You're
overworked,
You're
yeah.
underpaid.
Underpaid, underappreciated. Teachers in general,
but
education.
checking in with that because I think it is important to be able to be able to see, am I overwhelmed because of the amount of work that I'm doing right now, or am I actually burning out? And if you're actually burning out, take a step back and check in and see what is it about what you're doing that is burning you out. And I say music education, but I think that it can be for any profession that you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any profession.
Yeah.
Healthcare, corporate.
For sure.
Like
you ready for your second one
can
with it? It's we're all going along these same lines a little bit.
Sure.
What's one misconception about mental health you wish adults would let go of? I think along those lines, it's that you have to push through.
Yeah.
It's that you don't get to give yourself grace and time to pause and reflect. That's something I feel, again, back to music educators, I think that's something that they were terrible at, is that they would always just push, and then they break a bone or something, and then they finally have to sit and relax. You know, they don't. A lot of those people wouldn't give themselves time to pause, and so I think the misconception is you have to let yourself pause. You don't have to push through. There's so many people that just force themselves to push through these terrible times or these things that aren't going the way that feel good to them or whatever it is. And I think that's a bad place to be.
The misconception that I that came to my mind was that therapy is not for everybody.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe therapy is for everybody. However, it can also be a really hard thing to get into. It can be hard to find the right therapist. If you have a therapist and you have a bad experience, that can be really hard to feel like it's right for you or jump back in. I have this conversation a lot with my kiddos who have had a not so great experience with therapy or counselors, and they just want to be done with it. And I tell them all the time, therapy is like shopping.
Yeah.
You try it on, and if it doesn't fit, you exchange it and you put it back and you try something new.
Yeah.
It's not a one and done thing, but if you are committed to change and wanting to heal and get better, sometimes you have to be okay with the little speed bumps in it too. But I know that it's hard.
Right.
I know that's hard. And the other thing is I think the misconception is not that therapy is not for everyone. It's like you have to be ready. Like you have to want it too, because therapy will not be good for you or heal you if you're not ready to be vulnerable and open up, maybe take accountability, things like that.
I think all those are good, and everybody needs to just do that. Just take the step to actually start it. I think
it can be really scary.
Thing. It really is.
Especially if you're growing up where you and your family don't talk about your feelings, or your feelings are, people have told you that like rub some dirt in it. Like your feelings don't matter. It can be really hard and it can be really scary, but I think it's worth the jump when you're ready.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
What's something you wish you could tell your younger self about mental health?
So something I'm working on with my therapist right now is working through feelings of how that my feelings and I am too much. I think that stems from I'm a very emotional and sensitive person, and I always have been. And I think there have been times where I felt like I'm too much for people, or my feelings are too much. People have made me feel like my feelings are too much. And that has really taken root in me, and something I have been working really hard on, and it's getting better, but that's hard. That's like a hard thing to work yourself out of when it feels like it's been something hard for you for a really long time. So I think I would tell myself that I'm never too much, and that my feelings aren't too much for the right people, and that my sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's a superpower, and not to waste my time people pleasing and trying to fit in where I didn't belong and with people and doing things that didn't serve me or make me feel good. And to be myself, and all the right people will come along and they won't make you feel like you're too much or make you feel like you have to be somebody that you're not. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would tell my younger self just to learn to pause a little bit more, learn to like give myself grace with things, because I think I was so quick to jump to conclusions about myself and about what I was doing, and had I given myself the grace to just pause and think back to where I was in that situation or whatever, giving myself that time that I needed, I think I would have been, I don't want to say more successful, but I think I would have balanced myself out a little bit better when I needed to.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have a better answer for that question. That's also something that I'm talking about with my therapist right now, is just kind of going through my childhood and talking through things that were tough or things that were good, or, and just kind of trying to parse through all of that.
Well, and I think
two uses of the word parse today.
Well, and I think it's interesting too, because when you start diving into childhood or past things, you start making connections you never even realized, and like how it's impacted you as adults.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Counselor Corner. So this is time for Mrs. Finn to shine here.
Whoop, whoop.
What's one mental health skill you teach kids that adults need just as much?
Ooh. A mental health skill that I teach students that adults need as well. I teach, what am I teaching a lot of right now?
So you can talk about, what is your main priority? What is your main duty in your job right now?
I teach a lot of reframing and positive self-talk. That is, I work with middle schoolers and high schoolers, and so I have lots of students who come in with anxiety and really negative self-talk. Reframing is a really great skill and tool, even that I use. So it's taking your negative thoughts or a negative thought about something you're doing, and it's reframing it so that it's just more positive and it's easier to move forward. So I'm like trying to think of one. It's like when you think you're doing something wrong and so it's a failure, and it's you reframe that mindset of, well, I can learn from my mistakes and grow. It's not getting stuck in that negative self-talk spiral, which is really easy to do. And it's learning how to reframe so that we can move forward with what we're doing. And then as you practice that tool, hopefully the hope is that reframing and having a better way to express yourself, and positive self-talk just comes easier, and it's now a habit. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of commitment, because it's really easy to fall into the, well, I messed up and now I failed, or now I'm not going to try, or that boy didn't like me, so now I'm, those are obviously like middle school and high school issues, but you can relate that to, adults and loneliness and feeling like you're not doing well at your job, or feeling like, I'd say mine is like my physical health, trying to get better about doing that and just being healthier. But it's really easy for me to fall into that downward spiral of like, why should I even do it? But reframing and just saying like, showing up for myself, even if it's 10 minutes a day, is better than nothing,
Right.
Yeah. I'd say reframing is really important. And I know it probably sounds cheesy, but breath work.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Breath work can be so helpful, just to help, even in even in a stressful situation, just giving yourself that time to breathe through something, I think can be so impactful. Yeah. Second one, how can parents tell when a child is struggling versus just having a bad day?
I think kids who are struggling consistently are very shut down. They aren't, you can see the changes in lots of different ways. And that's them maybe not wanting to be as involved in things, not wanting to spend time with friends or or spend time with you. Maybe they're not eating well, sleeping well. They're on their phone all the time. They're having issues at school. They're having relationship issues with people. I think a bad day is just, they happen, and I think they're more apt to talk about bad days, or you can see the change of like from one day to the next. Like for me, sometimes I have a bad day and then I sleep on it and my next day is better. When kids are struggling, that doesn't go away that.
It's consistent and persistent.
It's consistent, persistent, and it usually gets worse over time, especially if they're not getting help or
The other thing that's tricky about the consistent and persistent thing is that there are some kids that have gotten really good at masking.
Oh yeah.
Really good at masking. I'm feeling great. Yeah. Duh. Can't you tell? Like, look at the smile on my face. Can't you tell that I'm the happiest kid?
Yeah.
Like, and that they're struggling, and you can still feel that, and you still know that those things are
well, especially as parents, like your kids. As a counselor, one of my qualities is I'm very observant. And so I'm a big vibe person where I can usually have a pretty good read on someone, but I have to know them usually.
Yeah.
But I'm very observant, and usually I can tell the masking kids because what they're saying doesn't match their behavior. And sometimes it's like minuscule things.
I've been trying to think about what you're good at with that. And I think you read body language incredibly well. I think you read body language really, really well.
I think I have to, because sometimes kids don't want to talk right away.
Yeah. And you can kind of tell that when they start loosening up, and then you're like, whoosh, hook, line, sinker, go. And I can go. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. And that's even like body language coming into the room, because I think that's like a school counselor stigma is that kids only go to the school counselor when they're in trouble. And that still is very much an issue and stigma in schools. And so I work really hard to build relationships and be seen in the building and outside of my office, because I don't want them to think that. And I don't want them to only feel like they can come to me when there is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one more.
Okay.
I think we are going to run out of time here.
Yeah.
The next one is, what is a coping strategy that actually works, but people underestimate? You talked about one. You talked about breath work.
Breath work.
Yeah.
I know that might sound
that.
silly, but I'm actually working on that right now with my therapist. So my therapist really connects with like the body. And so we do a lot of breath work and like visualizing and grounding. And I just think breath work and grounding is so underrated, and it's overlooked because you're like, I am breathing. Duh. Like, what else? Yeah. I just think it's such a simple thing that it's so easily overlooked. And I think that can like change like the whole moment if you take a step back and you're like, okay, like I need to breathe through this first before I act or do anything else. And I do that as a counselor, as a person. I'm working on that too, because I've always been like, yeah, breathwork's great, but then I never really did it myself. And now that I'm connecting with that side of myself in therapy, I'm like, holy crap, like this works.
Can help you just like settle so quickly and you feel so much better.
And it probably seems silly, but it does make a difference, and it engages your whole body and just gives you a moment of peace. And then it's like that pause you were talking about earlier. Sometimes that pause is really important, so that you don't say or do things or make a choice that you're going to regret later. I really think breath work is underutilized. And I would even go as far as to say is like movement. Like your trauma is stored in your body. And even if it's stretching or, meditation or yoga or I think exercise and movement really helps that too. And the two together are chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So I want to get into, did you come up with any, before we get into our next thing that I was going to do with you, did you come up with any like this or that or
no
rate this questions? Okay. That's right.
No.
So, these are some questions that came in from listeners.
Yeah.
On Instagram specifically. I don't know if you had any of those, but I had a handful.
I will check.
That I wanted to talk through. So the first one is, how do we hold space for each other's mental health struggles? I think the words holding space are what is impacting me right now. Just like that idea of making sure that I give you the time and the space to feel what you need to feel. Whether it's if we're in a heated moment and just being like, okay, I'm just going to shut up for a little bit and just let you feel what you need to feel. And then we can talk about it when we're both going to be more productive. I think that is a good thing. Or if it's the opposite and you do need me closer by, or you need more interaction and you want to talk through something, like I try to adapt my reaction to whatever feelings you're feeling accordingly.
Yeah. I think we're usually really good at communicating.
Yeah.
And holding that space for us looks like communicating what we need and what we don't need.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just knowing that the other person is off and just either making space for them of like, hey, how can I help you? Or just letting them be. I think
it was kind of like how you talked about sleeping it off sometimes actually does help because, raising a 4 and 2-year-old, we're tired a lot of the time. So I think that can often be that concept of just letting time do its thing sometimes helps a little bit.
Well, and I think knowing that it's holding space for people and mental health, it doesn't mean it's always personal, especially like between partners. I can't take your bad mental health day is that it's a me issue all the time. And I used to. That is something I used to be really bad about. And it would like come out of like, I'm really sorry. I don't know what I'm apologizing for. I feel like you're mad at me. Are you mad at me? What did I do? And then it would like be a frustration thing.
That was kind of like, we had some codependency going on for a while.
Yeah.
And so we have worked through that in order to be stronger individuals. And I think being parents has made us so much better at that too.
Well, and we grew up together. And so it's codependency, like just kind of naturally happened. And then we had to kind of find ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think not always taking it personal or thinking that it's personal, because it's not. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it has nothing to do with me. But I think that's where communication comes in, because even if it's just to be like, hey, I just need to take a little bit. And we're like, okay, yep, whatever you need.
Gotta take a break.
Yeah. It's just holding space for whatever that looks like and trying to make sure that we're communicating through it, because it's when we stop communicating, that's when we have issues.
For sure.
Yeah.
The next one is
question.
how to not take things so personally.
Oh.
So my response to this, and the reason I say it this way is because this is a response that I gave to a lot of my high schoolers when I was talking to them, is that there are very few times when people are thinking about you as much as you think they are. So sometimes that comes off kind of brash. Sometimes me saying that comes off a little unempathetic. Is that a good word for it?
Well, it's just because,
apathetic is the word that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But people think about you less than you think that they do. Sometimes that can come from within so much, and I think that it's a dangerous thing to think about, that everyone is thinking about you so much. Does that make sense? Are those words coming out of my mouth making sense?
Yeah. Because I think what you're trying to say is it's the dangerous thought, because we don't want to rely on other people like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But taking things personally, is there a different path that you would take to that? Not taking things so personally.
And that one's really hard for me, because I'm still working really hard on that. I have grown up a people pleaser my entire life, and for a long time I would just do whatever I felt like I needed to, for people to like me. But like, that was sometimes skewed, because then there were times where I felt like I would do things that didn't align with my own values or what was important and how I wanted to be remembered, simply because I wanted to fit in. And so then, like, there were times where I felt icky, or like I wasn't the nicest. And I always took things personal, even when they weren't. Sometimes they were, especially as kids. People are mean, and there will always, is it honking?
It's just laying on the horn.
Gosh, I don't know. What would I say now? 'Cause I'm still working on it. I think when kids come into my office now, and I talk about this and my experience with taking everything personal, I think you just, I go to my motto of you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And I think it's silly, but it's important to remember that you need to save your energy for the people who matter to you. Not everybody should get the same Haley, and won't get the same Haley, and won't get the same energy from me.
The same amount of Haley?
The same amount. Because I have to protect my energy and have boundaries with people who don't align with me.
That reminds me of What We Do in the Shadows, the energy vampire. You don't want to give the energy vampire your energy.
Yeah. And so I talk a lot about, like, well, do you want to be friends with this person? And then they're like, well, no. And I'm like, okay.
Then don't.
So you set the boundary, and you can be kind, and you can be cordial.
Yeah.
But then that can be as far as it, that's as far as it goes. And I think that's what I would say for, like, taking things personal is that, you have to protect yourself and your energy, and you have to realize, like, sometimes it's just not personal, and sometimes people are having a really shitty day, and you just hope, I think going back and, like, being empathetic and, like, knowing,
okay.
Hi.
Pause really fast.
What's not working? What, time for one or two more? And then we might have to split this up into a part 2.
I think this will be a two-parter episode. And honestly, I think we're going to start tying it into a lot more of our episodes, because I feel like you and I can talk about this quite in depth, which is a good thing. Okay. I'll take this one. Middle high school choir teacher here. How do you combat burnout and exhaustion? Interesting, because I feel like we have just talked about this. So something that I did is sometimes it was healthy, sometimes it was not healthy, but I tried to find things outside of school that brought me joy. And I say unhealthy because one of the things that I was doing was like playing more video games. Not a good, healthy thing. Not a good thing for me to be doing a lot of. But then another thing was I got into cooking quite a bit while when we were in the throes of musical season or show choir season or whatever. One of the things that brought me a lot of joy when I had downtime was making things, was making food. And something to bring joy to us while we had such a chaotic season. I think there are a lot of different pathways that you can take to feel better when you're going through burnout, when you're going through exhaustion. I think with burnout specifically, I would say go back to why did you pursue this career in the first place? Why did you decide to be a choir director to begin with? For me, I could easily say my experience with Warburg Choir, the lessons that I learned from my educators throughout my choral experience, the relationships that I had with my colleagues while I was getting my undergrad, the connection that I make with my students, things along those lines are easily answers to the question, why did I become a choir director? And I think think back to that answer. And is it something that you are willing to continue to fight for in the current position that you're in the current place that you are? Is it something that you're willing to fight for? If the answer is no, I think you know where to go from there. And if your answer is yes, great, keep going. But I think reflecting back onto why did you get into this job in the first place? And I think you can really start to think through why you would like to either keep going or start looking into different things. I'm not telling you to quit, but you also need to understand that if it's to the point where it is so negative on your mental health, then you need to think of something else that's going to be more positive for you.
And prioritize. If it's that you don't want to quit, then you have to prioritize what has to change to make it better. Yeah.
There are so many music directors, both band, choir, orchestra, whatever it is, that like are always self-flagellating. Is that what that is?
Sure.
I think that's the word. There are always music directors that are so self-punishing on the things that they're doing.
Sure.
So they have to be the best, and they have to give themselves totally and completely to the work that they're doing. And if they're not sleeping in their office, then they're not doing the right thing or whatever. And it's so debilitating, and it can be there's so much burnout. I can say that I have been that person before, and I hated it. Got to the point where I wasn't being the father that I wanted to be. I wasn't being the husband that I wanted to be. And so I had to start thinking through what were my priorities. So think in regards to what are your priorities. Take the time to give yourself that grace to, again, pause and think through those things. And then from there, I think you can reevaluate how to approach the situation so that you don't end up in this burnt out situation again. I think that would be the best way that I would go for it. Okay. There was the adults causing issues, not the students one.
I don't remember that one.
And that could maybe be one that we come back to next week.
If we feel like we're going to talk a lot about that one.
Yeah. I think this is a great one to end on then.
Perfect.
How do you stay strong as educators, parents, and expats? What do we do to stay strong?
We do things for ourselves. We do things together. We hold space for that, for whatever that is. So like on Thursdays, I go to pottery.
Yep.
On Thursdays, you teach choir. At nighttime, sometimes it's getting the kids down and being in the same vicinity, but you're playing video games and I'm reading my book.
Yep.
And I think sometimes that looks like saying no to things, prioritizing our piece. It's okay to do that. It's okay to set boundaries. And I know sometimes that that might feel a little icky, or maybe you feel guilty. I know I used to feel that way, feeling like I had to say yes to everything. But then like I was spread way too thin, you know, and then I wasn't doing anything well. I wasn't happy. Yeah. And I think communicating and being honest and transparent, like your feelings are your feelings and they're never wrong. So if you're unhappy, talk about it. If you're happy, talk about it. I think you have to have constant communication with each other and ourselves, and checking in with yourself of like, okay, why am I feeling this way? What am I going to do to change it? Yeah. And I think being an expat now kind of like launched us into some healing and growth as people.
Forcibly.
Yeah, forcibly. That we didn't even know we were ready for or that we needed. Yeah. And I know some of those maybe sound really simple, but I think it comes down to basics of like communication and taking time for yourself and apologizing, like taking accountability and ownership, and knowing that it's not every day is going to be sunshine and rainbows, and that is okay. But something that we are really good at is, you know, we're in this together. We chose this together and we're here for each other through all of that. Yeah. What would you say?
I think things like this, like doing the podcast, is actually something that let me back up. I think that doing this is similar to journaling in that we're talking through, we have a way to talk through not only the experiences that we've had recently, but also the thoughts that maybe we have been compiling over the last couple of weeks, couple of months, whatever. I think taking this time to talk through those things is similar to a journal in that you are literally taking the time to sit down and just let it all come out. And I think that giving your mind that kind of debrief time is so helpful to stay strong and help yourself, again, prioritize what you're doing. I'm doing a lot with my hands this episode. Have you noticed that? Doing lots of hands. I
am always doing stuff with my hands.
Well, but mine have been very like karate choppy around my face. But I think if it's journaling, if it's podcasting, if it's having a conversation with a friend, if it's having a conversation with your animal, whatever it is, just giving yourself that time and that space to think, I think is a good way to go about it, and helps you set your priorities. I think that's a big message of our podcast today, has been just giving yourself space to set priorities.
And put yourself first.
Yeah, exactly. Put yourself and your people, your family first. Okay, so and again, we're already at that hour mark, but
there's a lot more to talk about.
There's a lot more to talk about. So we're going to delve into this deeper next week, because I still have half of a document of the questions that we are going to ask each other for this week. So we'll delve into this further. I will again post for audience members to ask us questions if they want to, and then we'll go from there. But anyway.
Right.
Love you. Love you.
Love you. Love you. Love you, Lyra.
Lyra's here too.
Are you coming to say bye? Can you say bye to everyone?
Can you say bye, everybody?
She's waving.
You got to wave.
Can you say bye? Good job.
Good job.
Say see you next time.
See you next time. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.